Welcome to the Astronomy Centre at Low Dalby. I'm standing near the two observatories which we use on the first Friday of every month when visitors come down here to have a look at the night sky. But it's a very, very wet afternoon now. It's raining, in fact, which is typical of astronomy in this country. In fact, 60% of all nights are cloudy. So instead of trying to look through the telescopes that you see behind me and at the side of me, I'm going to take you on a different sort, a synthetic tour of the solar system with a rather interesting little programme that we show to our visitors from time to time. The planet Mars, which over the centuries has fascinated people. Its red colour made the ancients name it after the god who used to revel in the blood of battle. You can see the red colour of the planet already before we even get there. It's there in the centre of our picture. It was given the name Mars after the Roman god of war, who used to love the blood of battle. And it's a good name to give to the red planet, which is red because of the rusty deserts, the deserts which are red in colour and which we've been seeing quite a lot of on our television screens of late. So here it is. Here is the red planet itself, the planet Mars. Poor Beagle went down onto its surface and unfortunately hit a crater and unfortunately did not send its 9 little notes back from the pop song by Blur back to Earth to let us know that it got there safely. So we assume it did not get there safely and that it's damaged and no one is there to repair it. Some people say that the Martians switched it off, but I don't believe that for a minute because Mars is really not capable of supporting life as we understand it. We can see one of its little moons passing above the North Pole of the planet on the top there, and the other one too. They are the two moons Phobos and Deimos. Phobos is the nearer one, that's the one that we can still see. It's only a tiny little world, it's really like a lump of rock, rather in appearance like a potato. It's quite near to Mars and goes around the planet once in 7 hours. But Mars is a fascinating world. It is a world that we're going to go back to, and indeed I would imagine by the end of the 21st century people will have walked on the dusty deserts of Mars. But what a wonderful world it is, and one day I think this will probably be a colony of the Earth. It can be changed into an Earth-like planet by terraforming it, and the plans are already in place. So we're looking perhaps now at one of mankind's homes of the future, but many centuries from now, the red planet Mars. As we move away from Mars, we go through an area filled with lots of lumps of rock, the asteroid belt, but we're not going to bother calling off at any of those because our journey now takes us to the largest of all the planets in the solar system, the planet named after the king of the Roman gods, Jupiter. 5th planet in order of distance from the centre of the solar system, our sun. And a huge planet so big that it doesn't have one moon like our Earth has, or 2 moons like Mars has. But the giant planet Jupiter is no less than 58 moons altogether at the most up-to-date count. 4 of them are extremely large, and one of them is possibly the home of life. It's the moon Europa. Europa, together with Io and Callisto and Ganymede, are 4 moons that were discovered by Galileo 300 years ago through his small primitive telescope. And anybody, if they have a pair of binoculars, can see these 4 Galilean satellites accompanying the giant planet Jupiter, which has just passed now in front of the sun. And this world is one gigantic gas bag. If we could get 13 globes the size of the Earth, they'd just about span this planet because it is a really big planet. And here we can see one of its moons, a little moon called Amalthea, passing in front of the planet's disk. And we can see the surface, but not really the true surface of Jupiter because it's a gas bag, it's a gas giant. We're looking here at the cloud decks of very poisonous gases that make up the atmosphere of this planet, gases which are blown round the planet once every 9 hours and 50 minutes. The brown areas are areas of complex hydrocarbons, whereas the white areas are made up of crystals of ammonia. up in the higher atmosphere of the planet, and those oval areas you can see are storms on the surface. Jupiter, the king of the gods and the king of the planets. I hope you enjoyed your tour of the solar system. We look forward to seeing many of you here at Low Dalby on the first Friday of every month, when you can see the real stars themselves and the planets too.